I got a dilemma, Jay. And I need you to talk to me. Everybody that's in here right now, I want y'all to talk to me, right? Okay. So I went to a concert on Friday. Went to go see New Edition, Boys to Men, and Tony Braxton. Really, really big. A lot of silver folk in this concert, but it was an amazing show. Okay. Something really amazing happened to me, and I'm a little upset that people aren't enjoying it as much as I believe they should. Now, tell me if I'm tripping, right? So for Christmas, I purchased my wife tickets because she is a huge fan of New Edition. I purchased my wife tickets to go to the New Edition show featuring Boyz II Men and Tony Braxton. One of the things that me and my wife love to do as a unit is we love to go to these shows or just go to concerts in general. And one of the things that we've always said, because we have kids, because we have other responsibilities, just being in the building is enough. I don't care if it's nosebleeds, whether we're going to go see the Thunder or the Cowboys or Lizzo or Lil Wayne. No matter who we're going to go see, we're okay with just being in the building because it's about the experience. It's about the vibe. We get time with each other and we get to do together what we love to do, and that is music. We both love, absolutely love music. And so this is something great for us to do when we go out together, and it's just fun. It's just fun. So we've had a couple concerts where we've just been in the building and it wasn't that big of a deal. So when we go and we go to this concert, I looked at our seats when I bought them, but it was like 2 months prior. And when we get there, the show isn't sold out for whatever reason. Doesn't matter to me. I'm there to have a good time. So show isn't sold out. So if you've been to any concerts, if you've been to any pro wrestling events, or you've been to anything that they expected more than what they do at these venues, a lot of times they always put a curtain, right, to cover the empty seats. I don't know if it helps the artist or it helps the players or it helps, whatever show you're at. But I do know that on TV, it looks great. Low lights, curtain covering the seats. You can't really see how empty it is. So we're up there. I'm talking big nosebleeds. I'm talking we had to hike to our seats. I'm talking about when we rode the escalator up to our seats, it was only like one other couple riding the escalator with us. And there were a bunch of empty seats in our area. Apparently, everybody else was rich. Okay, fine. Y'all can have that. But we go in the show, and we're watching, and we're having a great time. I'm down there in tears for some of the music that they're performing because I have this connection with New Edition where knowing their story, knowing where a lot of them came from, knowing the struggles that they've been through, to see everybody up on stage in their, at this point, 50s and above, still performing, still having dance moves, still caring about their craft, taking care of their voices, outside of Bobby, but he had a lot going on. But doing these things to be able to give a great show, and me seeing these things, feeling like I got to live a part of their life, watching the New Edition story, feeling like that I got to be a part of their life, seeing them on stage, and maybe a bit emotional. And we're up here, I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, hey, there's seats around, like on the other side of this curtain that we can get a better view of, and nobody's here. So my thing is, if we get halfway through the show and they ain't here, they don't care enough, and we're going to get no seats. She's like, you know what? I'm good. Like we all right. We're fine watching her. And I'm like, okay, baby, I did this for you. So we're good. All the time, like I'm watching half a show. Because in the corner of my eye, all I see is curtain. And so I'm trying my damnedest to not allow this to take me out of the show. So and take me out of enjoying this, because again, this was a Christmas gift for my wife. So I'm enjoying it as much as I can, having fun. Enjoying it, but this curtain is really just I see it out the peripheral, and it's so bad, y'all. When I clap my hands, you can legitimately hear the echo. That's how bad it is. So that all happens. We're there, we're enjoying it. About 30 minutes into the show, let me not do that. This worker, okay, who worked for the facility, comes up And he's going around, he's looking at people, and I kind of hear out the corner of my ear him ask these people, do they want to move, or they can move if they want to. This is what I'm hearing. Okay. This is what my brain is telling me that I hear. And the funny thing about this is that I told them, or I told you, I had just talked to my wife about trying to move. So I'm sitting here like, yeah, I know she said she all right, but if he gonna say that we can move just over, we could stay up here in the nosebleeds, but just over to where this curtain isn't in my eye, cool, we all right. So yeah, this worked. So we go, and I make sure to make eye contact. Apparently, my wife is looking at this man at the same time as she heard the exact same thing I did. So we both turn around back, and we're looking at this man, just kind of hoping that we're being pick-me's at this point. I don't care. I'm hoping he says to me that we can move as well. Just to fast forward a little bit, as we were getting into, what's good, Jay? Good to see you, big boy. Hey, appreciate you for being here. So, look, check this out. So, as we're going into the show, we see that there's a couple in front of us, and as they scan their tickets, the lady says, oh, your seats have been upgraded. We need you to go around to the box office, and they'll get it fixed. And I'm like, damn, I wish that had happened to us. It always happens. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? That is what I'm saying at this point. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I always see these things happen. And I'm like, man, I wish that could happen to us. My wife said she heard it too. So anyways, we're go fast forward 30 minutes in. This man comes up and he asks them that. We make the eye contact with the man, and he's about to walk off. But as he sees both of us looking at him, he comes back and he says, hey, would you guys like to sit next to the stage? You said what? I didn't, I'm going to bring it up, did not second guess this at all. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Funny thing is, we had a couple that was sitting next to us that we was laughing and joking all through the show, cracking up, making fun of different things. Wanye and his spin, that was hilarious. But we're cracking up on everything. And the moment that guy told us that we had them tickets, I didn't even know them people. Nope, I didn't know them people. Oh, you want to sit at the... Yes. Let me tell you how crazy this was. So he's like, all right, here's 2 tickets. Y'all are going to sit. Y'all go down there and go sit. We're like, bet. We grab all our stuff. We're running down. I'm trying to make sure my wife doesn't trip down the steps because I'm going so fast because I want to be able to catch the rest of this show. In my head, I'm thinking like, well, a lot of the show done already passed. We're probably only going to get like 10, 15 minutes of the show, but at least we're going to be next to the stage. Sure. Right. So we go out to the outside, and the lights is out there so I can actually see what tickets, and the tickets say FL, like for floor. I'm like, oh shit, we're on the floor. So it says the tickets say that for the floor, and we go and we're trying to find it. So we jump on the elevator that they have in the Paycom Center, and we go down to the first floor because that's the floor to us, right? I've already told y'all, if we're in the building, we're good. We go to the elevator, we go and find this man. Oh, we're looking. We're walking around. I'm like, man, how in the world? So we go and find another worker. We go and find him, and it's a black guy, and we're like, hey, how do we get here? He's like, oh, you're on the floor. He said, y'all got to take this elevator. Matter of fact, and I swear it was God. I promise, and I'll tell you why in a second. But it's like, go around this elevator and take it down to the floor. I'm like, well, we on the floor. We're on the first floor. When you press the button in the elevator, it say G for ground. Okay? So we're at ground. What you mean? He's like, nah, you need to go. So we go over there and we're looking around. We find the elevator he's talking about, but I don't know what this man is talking about. There's only one other level past G, and it's E. If it was floor, maybe it would say FL or whatever. I don't want to go down here and be in this freight elevator, and now all these workers is looking at us because we don't know where the hell we going or what the fuck we doing, right? So I'm sitting I'm like, all right, we need to ask somebody. So we asked the lady who's selling beer, and she's like, oh, no, you need to go down and press E. E? You sure? Yeah, press E. Y'all, I press E. Now, it's for event level. See, us common folk don't know what that means. It says event level. So we go down and man, it is the way that we were treated was totally different. When we found our seats in the nosebleeds, we had to ask somebody how to get there. And the lady, she wasn't even paying attention to us. We had to tap her on the shoulder. And she's like, oh, yeah, your seats are up there. Very kind lady. Very helpful when we asked. But then we were kind of walking up. She was just happy to see New Edition. She was screaming and yelling and everything. Okay, they are like that. But then when we went down to the floor level, right this way, sir. Oh, let me see your ticket. Oh, no problem. You're just going to walk down this hall, hang a left, and you're going to go right through those doors. When I tell y'all, being down here is so different, y'all. Yo, this is crazy. This is floor level. What in the world? Yo, this is insane. Like, for Thunder games, like, this is how you get to the court on the floor? Like, I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, but we was grateful. See, look at God. That's what happens. That's what happens. Wow. This is crazy. Suites, cushion chairs. No. Lazy boys. This ain't even in the event. Lazy boys. And everything that, and just, damn near, it was probably what they, Ace of Spades? That was probably down there. Crystal for the old people. Like, it was, like that kind of stuff was down there. I was almost scared. And the reason why I told you that I think that black man was God, because we spent all this time trying to find our way down there after he told us what elevator to get on. We go down, and as we're walking down this hallway and people are escorting us, he says, you didn't think you were running to me again, did you? You ain't even, what? Sir. So I'm saying, it's weird. And as we get there, they're like, okay, guys, we want you to know that there's a bar here and there's a bar there. And if you go around here, you can get you some food and then, just go around there and get in. Okay, cool. As we walk down to the floor level, guys, the energy is swelling. Like a balloon expands. That's what's happening to the energy at this moment. We're walking in, still don't even know what the hell. And in this area, in this floor area, there are, let me see. So we were in 1P. So I'll say there probably are, and we was in ones, there probably were, I'll call it 10. There probably were 10 floor sections. There were 10 floor seat sections with about 20 chairs long ways, or 20 chairs long ways. And what's P? What letter of the alphabet is P? Is it like 16, 17? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. 16! Ooh! Aha! Look at me go. But anyway, there are 16 rows and about, 20 chairs in each row. Let me not exaggerate. I'll say there are 12 to 15 chairs in each row. So as we come and this energy is swelling, I'm like, oh, he said by the stage, but I'm sure he meant just on the floor. They're floor seats. That's still huge, right? So as we're walking down and this energy is swelling, my wife is like, man, you need to find somebody to figure out where we at, because these aren't traditional seats and we can't tell where we're supposed to go. I'm still looking at the fact that the tickets say floor. So yeah, I'm lost too. So we go and we find a lady who's at the back by the audio booth. So if you've ever been to a concert, every concert I've ever been to, the audio booth is pretty much the same. It's on the floor, gated off by a gate, a little guard rails or riot rails, whatever you want to call them. And it's on the floor, but it's always towards the back, right? So we find a lady that's right there and we go towards the back and we say, hey, these are the tickets we have where we're supposed to sit. And she kind of looks at us, and at first, kind of like she didn't want to help until she saw our tickets. I understand that there is always a hierarchy, and the people that got the money always get treated better. I get it, but I didn't expect it like this. So as we go to her, and she's kind of like bothered by me asking her until I show her what ticket. She said, oh, she said, well, I'm just watching this place for somebody. I can't move, but let me show you. And she pulls out this map. I do. I'm going to show y'all this map. Show y'all this map. Look, see this? This is what I use when I'm coaching basketball. But I'm gonna show y'all this map just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So she pulls out this map, right? And this booth is like here, okay? As we come up, she's sitting here for the booth, okay? Y'all see that? So she's sitting here, all right? Here's the stage way up here. Stage, S for stage, okay? She's back here, and she's like, oh, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you. So these are the way the sections were sitting. Section here, section here, section here, section here. And then it was like a section that did this here. So I'm sure it was like that on the other side. And there's always a place to walk, so it's separated. It was a few people here, not that many. But then you had a section here and then a section here. It was probably something like this, y'all. Just follow me. For the basis of the story, just follow me, okay? So it looks like this. And she's like, hey, this is this section, but section 1 is here. So I'm like, cool. Are you sure? She's like, yeah. So what you're going to do, you're going to walk past all of this. There's going to be a second security guard here. A second one, right? Because they don't want no niggas just randomly coming up there. There's going to be a second security guard here. Can y'all see that? There it is. A second security guard here. And just ask them where you're supposed to sit. I'm like, damn, this is what it's like. All right. So we go and we walk up here and we just do. We just walk. And we get here. Mind you, on the way here, I'm looking at our tickets and they're saying like seat. They're like row P, seat 1 and 2, right? So I'm sitting here like, all right, we probably up here before we got to this lady. I'm thinking our seats might be in this area. I didn't even think that this was an area. Like I didn't. From what I could see in my original nosebleed seats, there was no extra area. But anyway, we go through and we walk through here. Everything's great. And we pass these people and I start looking at them like, yeah. Yeah, oh, no, don't frown upon me. We're not late. We've been here. But anyway, we go and we present our tickets to this man. And I tell you what, whoever that man is, I'm going to call him John. He was a nice man. John had our backs. See, apparently, I'm about to preach. Apparently, there was somebody in these seats. There was somebody up there. Apparently, some people felt the same way we did. And it was like, if these people don't show up, we're going to take their seats. So we come up here. We show John, and John's like, and he starts talking to people. He's like, hey, let me see your ticket. What ticket you got? Oh, okay, no. We're trying to figure, okay, so you're going to sit here and pee. P, mind you, this is a stage. There's a little barricade, and I'm going to say P is about this small. P is this row here, right back here, right on this back row. And 1 and 2 was literally right here and right here. Can y'all see that? Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Right there and right there. Okay. Now, John, shouts out to my nigga John. John says, he gets up, he's like, hey, show me your tickets. He's doing a little flashlight check. Okay, no, they're not sitting here. Oh, row P. This is row P. And it's people sitting in the seats that we're supposed to sit in. I don't know which ones. I'm new here, guys. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I tell the people, and I'm like, I don't tell anybody. I'm letting John handle this. And John is an old man, too. John ain't no big, stocky, no nothing. Like, John was just there to enjoy the show with everybody else and make sure that niggas got to the seats they were supposed to be in. Big shouts out to my nigga John. I don't know what his name is. Whatever your name is, if you actually see this, I really, really appreciate you. And I should have said thank you then. Actually, the worker that gave us the tickets, I really should say thank you to him, because thank you for real. But anyway, so John, he goes, and it's a person sitting. Hold on. Let me draw this up on my board. So there's a person actually sitting here. There's a seat here, and then we're 1 and 2 here. So there's actually somebody sitting in this seat. As far as like, I guess actually, I don't know. And then there were 2 people actually occupying the seats that we were supposed to sit in. So John, he goes to them and he says, hey, these are the seats. These are their seats. And they're sitting there trying to argue with John about them being really, they didn't want to move. They had gotten really, really good seats up until this point, a really, really good, dashing show. They had enjoyed a lifetime of memories for those 30 minutes they were in those seats. But the lady that was in the other seat, I was like, okay, so where are the seats, John? Are they right here? And I'm pointing at where the lady is sitting. She's like, no, it's my seat. Like, this is how she says it. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? Had I paid for those seats, I would act that way too. So I get it. She's like, no, these are my seats. This is my seat. Yo, we're not even talking about your seat. The ones next to you, these people that you became friends with while you were at this concert, those people. And John's like, hey, move along, move around, get to the side. Here you go. Talking. Thank you, John. We get there, and I mean, it was a total different experience. I can't even begin to describe what it sounded like down there. And I will give y'all a comparison in just a second. But we're there and we're enjoying it. Well, after a little bit, and I missed a part of the story and the point of the people that we left up front winded up meeting us in the elevator to go downstairs to the event center. Awkward. Because they too got tickets. And we all went down there together. When they so we were up there stuck trying to find an elevator because we never had been to the floor before. We go down and we are, they see us in the elevator. We laughing and joking like, we didn't know. Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot better going there. Everything like that. I'm invested in the story. I appreciate it. Because this is the big look. I'm gonna ask y'all a question in a second because I've been a little bit perturbed by this, but I'm gonna ask y'all a question in a second. So we go and they're right behind us. They ask the same lady, and after we go and get situated by John, we see John get up again. Why is John getting up again? Well, John gets up again because our friends that we left in the nosebleeds that we met on the elevator that we left at the lady who told us where we needed to be because we didn't know what seats they had, come trotting down, and John come and look. Now, this time, I know John ain't talking to us because John just helped us get these seats. But would you know, the same people that was sitting in our seats moved down 2 seats to let us have our seats, and then they were now in our new friend's seats. And I wish I would have got their name because we really built a connection. If you're seeing this, hey, hit me up. Let me know if that's y'all, man. We would love to kick it with y'all again. But anyway, John moves them out, and they have to move. Me and my wife can't do nothing but crack up, right? Because these were people who were fully enjoying. That sounds bad. These were people who were in their mind enjoying a show from an area that they thought was a free for all because nobody had those tickets or those people weren't there. And I just find it crazy, really. And I really want to thank God. It's just wild because, when you really want something and you feel away and he gives you the desires of your heart. And I know that may look like, man, it was just a concert, but y'all got to understand. We spent a little bit of money. I think in total, it was like $250 to be in the nosebleeds because we understand how legendary these groups and these people are. When we went and checked the prices for the seats that we were actually sitting in, they were $1,500 a piece. From the whorehouse to the penthouse, like that. And it wound up being the best night of our lives. Now, my issue with this is, the reason why I want to ask y'all, my issue with this is every time I tell somebody this story, and it's only been a few days, but every time I tell somebody this story, they don't seem as excited as I believe they should be. We weren't supposed to, and it happened. Concert seat colonizers. Exactly. Concert seat colonizers. Exactly, bro. But I don't believe that and I wonder, how do I get a job as a seat filler? That's actually what I want to do. It'll be a dope way to be able to go and get a job or be able to be at these concerts for free, essentially. I found a seat filler one time when I went to a WWE show, and they would not tell us how they became seat fillers at all. Either they were lying or they just really didn't want to give up the plug. And I'm like, nigga, y'all already got it. Like, let us get the key. But anyway, so when I tell people this story, they don't seem as excited as I think they should be. And I don't know, is that just because was it a you had to be there moment? I don't think that that's fair, right? When people tell me their stories, I try my best to be excited for them. And even if I'm not that excited for them, because I do have instances where I'm just like, man, wow, you won $1 million. Like, I mean, that's dope, but shit, I'm still struggling. Like, unless the end of the story is going to be, and you too can have $1 million. Like, I don't care for real. And I don't know, is that bad, or is that just regularly, like, is that just human nature? Because I don't consider myself a hater, right? Be great. I can watch somebody be great and not feel away. But sometimes you're just kind of like, man, what I'm going through in my life right now, like, I just really can't. Good news that isn't my own. I just can't do that right now. Like, I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? Put it in the chat. Let me know. Do y'all feel that way? So, but I have this issue, and me and my wife, and I had to tell my wife, I said, man, this is just going to be something that we're just going to have to continue to say, remember when. This is going to have to be something that you and I, we have built this through the 11 years that we've been together, through us being married for as long as we have, and us truly building a life together. This is going to be one of those things that only you and I truly can enjoy. And maybe there's beauty in that. Maybe there is beauty in, just having something that you know exactly how I felt, and I know exactly how you felt, because we experienced this together. Now, maybe the couple that we were with, felt the same thing that we did. And maybe that's the people that we should talk to be able to get the feeling. But I don't know, man. I feel like the people aren't doing it justice when I try to tell them this story, and they're not jumping out the roof for excitement. When I tell you that that wasn't what we were looking forward to, and it was like, man, that's crazy. But again, maybe it's the selfish part about me. I want you to be excited about my story. That's the reason why I'm telling you my story. That's the reason why I'm sharing it with you. I care enough about you, or I think enough about you, that I believe you will get this at the point that I get it and enjoy it in the way that it's supposed to be enjoyed. I shared this with you because I believe you are worth it for me to share it with you. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, damn, maybe that's what other people felt when they were telling me things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is. And maybe I should have that same, how I want people to feel now about my story. I should start feeling that way about other people's story. Okay, so maybe that is the real lesson here, right? But I still just believe people should be a bit more excited for us. For that happen. I mean, we've tried telling family members, we've tried telling friends, we've tried telling siblings, and they just don't. They just don't get it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's it's wild. 3 bands for 2 seats is brazy. Okay, so check this out though. But is it worth it? Listen to me. Now, I told you I was going to give y'all a comparison, and that's what I'm about to do. I enjoyed the story already, man. Hey, I thought the story was great. But so when I tell y'all that I'm going to compare, so while I was up there, I told you I had the curtain in my eye. I was doing the Fetty Wap. It was definitely Fetty Wapping it up there. Some of the artists sounded off key. Now, this comes from being involved with music all my life. My dad being a choir director. We always had music going on around us. And I have a specific ear where I'm able to hear certain things that a lot of other people aren't able to hear. I'm constantly in the car telling people, man, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And they're like, nah. They don't hear what I hear. So where we were, so I can hear things that other people can't hear. But anyways, where we were, a lot of people sounded off key. I realized Wanye was probably doing, I'm caught say his name specifically. He gave an excellent performance. I don't think anybody in R&B can run better than Wanye, musical terms. When we talk about the lead singer of Boyz II Men, essentially they all can sing. But the one that was considered, the front man. I realized that he did it to already be in a key for when the song went up, so he didn't have to stress. Okay, one of the things that he had an issue with when they first were becoming a group, when his voice started to change, it was very a self-conscious thing for him. And they gave him the confidence to keep going, and that's kind of what he did. But there was a situation where, it was difficult for him. So maybe he's still battling it, but whatever. Anyway, a lot of people sounded off key. You heard the reverb horribly. It didn't sound like everything was in sync. Anytime they would talk, it sounded like their mouths were like super close to the mic. And all you heard, you didn't even hear them. What you were hearing and what you were able to make up was the echo. Now, I went to Lizzo's concert at the BOK Center, and it wasn't like that. And we had nosebleed seats. But maybe being at the Paycom, it wasn't built for people to have an enjoyable experience in those nosebleeds. We had those same seats when I went to a Christmas Day game for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year against Wemby. And I couldn't even hear the whistle from the ref. So it is a difference being up that high. It is a totally different experience. When we switch seats, I believe it's worth it. Priceless experience, since it was free, especially because it was free. But when we went down to those seats, I told y'all the energy, it was just swelling. And the closer we got to the stage, you could feel it. The funny thing is, too, people act a little bit differently. I remember a comedian saying this one time, and he was like, you niggas on the front row, y'all act differently. People on the front row, they just sit with their arms folded. Nothing's really funny. They just there for the vibes. People in the balcony about to fall out the balcony laughing at the jokes. Like they about to, you know what I'm saying? They about to lose it just to be in the building. And I understand that because that's how we were when we were in the nosebleeds. Like, I understand that. We were truly just happy to be there and taking the experience in for what it was, to the point where, yes, I was recording video. Yes, I was recording audio. Yes, we were having a good time, and I was getting memories. But I made sure to cut off my phone several times in the show. I was getting clips of performances while they were on stage, not the full thing, because I wanted to enjoy myself. Love the story. Thank you, Kelly Carter. Yeah. So with that being said, it is a totally different experience. By the time when we got to our seats, everything was crystal clear. We could actually see what they had on in full detail. They sung to us. They specifically spoke to us. They looked us in the eyes. They made us feel like they cared about us being there. Not saying that they didn't do that to the people that were in the nosebleeds. There were several times. There were seats behind the stage, and they turned around fully behind the stage to look them in the face and give them their own special performance. And we were down. We weren't at the floor yet. My wife said, man, they're lucky. Yeah, they're not lucky. Not lucky anymore after what we saw, but they were lucky in that moment. They look up, hey, man, I see all y'all up there. They don't see nobody up there. The spotlights is too bright. I done been on stage before. You can't see nothing past that light. That's why they look at the front, because they're able to look down and the light isn't blinding them. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But that was the difference. And you got to see the emotion on their face. The crazy part about it is the Paycom Center did a good job at having a jumbotron that you could see them on, but because of the way that we were sitting and I was doing my best Fetty Wap impression, not only was it hard to see the jumbotron, but the fixtures to hang up the jumbotron was in the way of the jumbotron because we were so far up. Had we been a little bit far down, you would be able to see underneath that and see the jumbotron fully. I wasn't complaining at the moment. I'm complaining about it now because we already had our experience, but I wasn't complaining at the moment. But that was an issue. You couldn't fully try to see. As a matter of fact, I showed my kids how far we were, and they laughed. And then when I showed them where we was after that, yeah, then they didn't have nothing to say. But back to my point. The music was different. It felt different. We felt like we were a part of the show and truly, having an experience that was built for us. Mind you, this was also free for us. Worth the price of admission for sure. But the experience we got to have based off of some niggas that didn't want to show up, hey, I appreciate it. And, I wanted to say that they didn't show up because he had the tickets, the hard tickets in hand. So I guess they just didn't sell. Whatever. Sorry for all of y'all that paid the $1,500 to get down there. Sucks to be you. Not at all, because you got to experience the same thing I did, and y'all didn't know that we got those seats for free. And I'm beyond grateful for that. I won't laugh in the face of people who've paid their good money to do that. I've paid the good money. We paid really good money to go see. We didn't sit on the floor, but to go see Janet Jackson. To go see Wayne, though, that was pricey. To go be in club seats to see WWE, that was expensive. So I've done it before. Not of that magnitude, but I've done it before. So I understand the drive and the dedication and what it takes to purchase those seats. But this was just a moment that I got to have with my wife, and it was a special moment, one that we didn't plan, spontaneous. I didn't even want to go home. I didn't even want to go home. For what? I wanted that day to live on forever. And it didn't. But that was the difference. There is a different experience. Not built for the nosebleed ass seats. Exactly. Hey, I'll say this. Depending on the venue, you can still enjoy a show from the nosebleed seat. I'm just telling you from experience. Going to go see Lizzo, nosebleed seats. We saw Lizzo and Lotto. Nosebleed seats. It was probably one of the best experiences from being in that spot that I probably could ever imagine. So, and she put on a hell of a show too. So, with that being said, like it can be it. When I first went to see a WWE show, we saw it for the first time, nosebleed seats. It sucks because you definitely can tell the difference. The closer to the ring or the closer to the stage you get, you can really tell the difference. It is a different show. I mean, I'd hate to say it, but it is a different show. It is a different experience. But they, in fact, can be, unless you have something to compare it to. I think that that's the biggest thing. If you have something to truly compare it to, that's how you know. But if you don't know, you would. If you don't have anything to compare it to, then you'll never know. I'm not saying we had the luxury of comparing those things the same day. I'm not saying compare it in the sense of, oh, we went here at this concert and a few months later we went to this concert and the experiences were different. Yeah, you can compare it very well out of that, but to do it within the same night and really truly get those comparisons in that moment, it's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different thing. I truly understood when people pay that money for those seats. It matters. It is worth it. It is something that changes everything. And I hate that we live in a society where money gets you better everything. But if they feel it's worth it, and it was in fact worth it. It was in fact worth it. But again, I ask, when you're telling somebody a story, do you want them to be as interested in it as you are telling it? Do you want them to be as invested in the story as you are telling it? Or do you want them to kind of be honest and be like, yo, I really don't care? Or do you want them to be polite and just listen and hear your story for what it is? It used to be a conversation about getting people gifts that I used to have a lot. And people would always say, well, I'm not getting them anything because they're not getting me anything. Oh, I got them something last time and they didn't get me anything. And I used to say a lot that it's not about that. You did that out of the goodness of your heart because you thought of them. And you can't be mad at them for not expecting, or you can't be mad at them for not being proactive and getting you something just because they didn't know you was going to get them anything. Now, maybe y'all did talk about it, but if they never said that they was going to get you anything, then why are we upset that we are getting them something? Yet, if I do get you something, I at least want you to be overjoyed about it. I at least would like you to act as if this is the greatest gift you've ever gotten. But it's about when I give you something, you say it a lot. Hey, if you do something to somebody, you can't tell them how they should react. You're not them. I think that this is in that same kind of playing field. I'm going to give you this story raw, authentic, and I cared enough about you, or I thought enough about you to tell you because I figured you would appreciate this story. Now, do you get to pick their appreciation? Do you get to pick how they respond? Nah, I guess not, honestly. But come on, you gotta want it. I mean, seriously, you have to want somebody to be as invested as you. Says, in my opinion, it adds more to the story sometimes if the person is invested, right? Because if I can see that you're not invested in my story, I'm not even gonna tell you, like in the way that I told y'all this story just now. If I may start out with that level of excitement, but if I find you not as interested in the story as I believe that you should be, or if I find that you just don't care as much as I think you should, as I'm telling you this, I will dive off the story. Like I'll tell you, I'm like, man, this dude came up and he gave us the tickets, man, and we went down. And if you're just like, oh, really? Yeah, man. And then we got to sit at the stage and it was cool. Like that's how I'm going to end the story. Like I wanted to give you all the details. I wanted to tell you. I wanted you to feel how excited I was about this story, but shit, you don't care. And with you not caring, I don't care. I don't care to tell you no more. And now I'm kind of disappointed. Is it okay for me to be mad? Is it okay for me to be upset that they didn't accept it the way that I wanted them to? I don't know, man. This was just a grand thing happening. And it's just, Jay, come on, bro. When I tell people about the Eagles winning Super Bowl 2027, I want them to be as hyped as I was. Hey, okay. If you're telling somebody in the NFC East division, they're not going to be happy for you. Come on, man. Come on. I'm telling people, in my instance, I'm telling people that didn't care to go to the show or that wasn't planning on going to the show. That's something great happened to me. I don't get to have these stories very often. So when I do, like I never was the guy, back in the day, people used to always have these stories where they walked around and they found money on the ground. And this was just such a huge thing for them. And they found $20 here and $5 here and $1 here. I'm like, dang, for real? Then I'll be like, dang, I wish I could find some money on the ground. Never could. I mean, I might have found $1. I might have found some quarters for sure, but it wasn't nothing like $20. Like I remember hearing a story from one of my best friends, and he was like, yeah, this person just came over to us and said, God told us to give you this money. I ain't had no story like that. I wish. I would love a story like that. So when I get mine, now 37 years into my life, I'm excited. I want to go back and tell everybody that told me about their money story, about my New Edition story. And I want you to be just as excited about my New Edition story that I pretended to be about you finding money on the ground.